I'm Riya Kalturi. I'm the CTO of Hubu Fresh. We're a Bangalore-based startup. We do fresh puja flowers for home delivery. We're currently based in Bangalore, Hyderabad, and Mumbai, and you can find us on all major platforms like Big Basket, Mid Basket, Swiggy, Dapsos, and
That sounds like a very interesting idea. So why did your company get the idea to come up with something like this?
Mm-hmm. So actually the idea wasn't mine.
Yeah.
It was my sister and co-founder Yashoda Kalturi's.
Okay.
So about 3.5 years ago, she was just working, thinking about what she could do differently. We come from a floriculture background. So my dad used to grow bouquet roses, mostly in Africa, places like that. So she was kind of thinking about floriculture, but what she can do differently in the retail space. And one day she was working at home at her desk, and our puja room is right next to that. And my mom was kind of like in a very bad mood, and she was cursing the watchman and everything because her flowers were completely rotten. And that was kind of the idea, right? Like your puja is supposed to be a very peaceful and like gratitude-filled moment. But a lot of people started with a lot of frustration. And in our house, a floriculture house, if you can't get fresh flowers, clearly a huge problem. That's how she got the idea, and that's why it's.
But how is the market for your business?
It's actually a huge market. If you look at the cut flower industry, which is your bouquets, which you really see a lot of companies in, that's huge, right? But the puja flower industry is actually 4 times the size of that industry. And when we talk about our addressable market as well, that's actually a $12 billion industry, right? And that's just in India, and that's at the farm level. So when you take it to the retail level, that gets even larger. But currently there's 40% of wastage in the industry, which is crazy that people are throwing out half of their produce. So really solving for that is what excites us.
Are you working on a solution for that right now?
Yeah. So our USP is that typically these flowers die in 2 to 3 days. So your jasmine, rose, sevanti, whatever you use in your puja. But in our packaging, with our processing technology, they last up to 15 days. And that's been our huge differentiator, elongating that shelf life.
So how do you feel being at Tycon today?
I'm really humbled and I'm really honored. I am from Bangalore, so I haven't been to this campus before.
Okay.
I'm not a part of Thai Chennai, but it's been such a warm reception. So many people who recognize Hubu. I think Akila ma'am had done a case study about Hubu, which is such an honor for us. It's such a young company. So much to learn. I'm such a fan of Zoho, so that to be able to see the founders speak and Mr. Murugalpan, and it's just amazing, right? Like Chick Shampoo is like a case study that I studied in college and school and things like that, and now to see the founder and to be able to speak to him, it's been a huge honor and it's been a very warm reception.
That's it. So is this your first Thai con or first Thai event that you're attending?
No, it's actually my second.
Okay.
So we also did Thai Hubli earlier this year.
So what is something that keeps you motivated in times of difficulties?
I think what keeps me resilient is really my team. So whether that's my co-founder Yashoda or our larger team, we have around 100 women who work with us.
Okay.
They are so intelligent, enterprising, hardworking that every day I show up to the office and I want to do justice to their work and take it even further. So I think my team is really what keeps me resilient. Anytime I want to give up on something, I see how hard they are working and it pushes me to work harder.
Tycon theme is resilience. So what is say an event or an incident in your life that made you have to exhibit resilience to keep going forward, whether it's in your business life or in your personal life?
I think everyone would have spoken about COVID, so I'll skip that. But when I was in my second year of college, my father actually experienced heart failure. And that was obviously a huge shock to our entire family. And I think that was a huge lesson in resilience for us, because my older sister Yashoda came back from college immediately. She actually skipped her own graduation, she came back. I took a break from college to come back and work in the family business. And I really saw not just resilience in the business, of course, my father's business really had to rally a lot without, the captain at the helm kind of situation. I saw him being so resilient to go through so much turmoil and change and face your own mortality at that age. I saw resilience in my family, including my youngest sister, who was only, she was like 14 at the time. But the kind of love and strength that everyone displayed around us, I think that was a huge lesson. And I think if you can have grace during hard times, that really is what differentiates you as a person. So I think that was a huge lesson.
What is something that you do to maintain work-life balance in a busy time like this?
I don't know if I've cracked work-life balance. But something that really helps me is spending time with the people that I care about. So my family and my friends, knowing that at the end of the day you're working so hard and you're creating value, and that should give you a lot of inspiration in life. But life is about more than that as well. It's about spending time with people you care about.
What is something in your daily routine that is relaxing, or something other than work that you do which you're passionate about?
Strangely, I find my work very relaxing. So I do the tech and the marketing, so I get to use both sides of my brain. Apart from that, I'm an avid reader. So since a young age, I've been very obsessed with reading. So I have a project actually called the Million Page Project. So I've been trying to read 1,000,000 pages my entire life. So that keeps me calm, I think.
What is a piece of advice for younger entrepreneurs or upcoming startup founders that you would like to give?
I still consider myself an upcoming startup. We're only 3 years old. A rule that Yashoda and I have for ourselves is that until we finish 10 years of our journey, we're not going to give people advice. But I mean, what has worked for us is just believe in yourself, know that you're smart enough to figure out whatever challenges come along.
What is a characteristic trait that you and your sister have that let you grow so far?
I think that something that has really helped both of us is that we have a very experimentational mindset. So we're always thinking, so we disagree a lot because she's the CEO, I'm the CTO. We come from completely different academic backgrounds. But whenever we have a disagreement, we don't say you're right, I'm wrong, or the other way around. We say, okay, let's try it, right? So we say, this is the budget, this is the time frame. Let's go out and try an experiment. These are the measurable results. And we do that for everything, channels, products, marketing, whatever it is. And I think that's really helped us. Never saying no to something, but trying it.
Is there any obstacle or hurdles that you face being a female entrepreneur in today's world?
I've been very lucky. So we're 3 sisters in our family. And our parents have always been very clear that we have to grow up and run our own businesses. So we're very encouraged from a very young age. I think that tends to be most people's hurdle. I think we've been very lucky, honestly, in terms of our mentorship and resources as well, that we have so many amazing role models to look up to. I think one thing that is still funny is that as a woman entrepreneur, you can't get like a commercial loan or a vehicle loan unless you have your husband or your father as a guarantor, at least in Karnataka and a few other states. And it's an official route in a lot of banks, which seems kind of crazy. I think those kind of hurdles are there for everyone.